Folks who are really into politics will remember in '08, Indiana was one of the really interesting states, late states coming in for the Democratic side in that race. And there are some fascinating counties with names like Marion and Madison and Delaware. And right now, Steve Kornacki is at the board with a 50-50, too early to call race. Steve, those of us who go back a little bit remember the numbers coming out of Gary, Indiana, kept us up late that night.
There it is. I'm having flashbacks, too, to that night in May of 2008. Of course, that ended up being pretty much the decisive night in that Democratic race that year when it really became clear Barack Obama would be the candidate. Talk about a 50-50 race. Look at this right now. Bernie Sanders leading statewide by 3 votes right now over Hillary Clinton. I've been hitting the refresh button here. They keep swapping first and second place. You mentioned, what we're looking at in the middle of the state right here, Marion County, that's Indianapolis. About a fifth of the vote is in right around here. About a fifth of the vote is in there right now. They've been trading the lead there. It's going back and forth. This is where South Bend is, Notre Dame. Bernie Sanders getting a pretty sizable lead out of there right now. That looks strong. You mentioned, though, Gary. When you think back to 2008, it was such a late night. One of the places that came in very last that night that proved critical to the outcome, it was Gary. It was Lake County. It was right here in the northwest part of the state. So we're no returns yet. That's what gray means. It means nothing's coming in from there. That could, again, especially if it comes in late tonight with these numbers we're seeing, that could be key. One thing to keep in mind, though, as we watch this Democratic race, the backdrop for this, it is a little different than 2008, where the outcome was still sort of in doubt there between Clinton and Obama. We come into tonight with Hillary Clinton leading in the pledged delegate count by about 290. And if this is what holds, if we've got a race that's sort of a toss-up 50-50, the difference between Sanders winning this thing by a point and Clinton winning this thing by a point, well, it's the difference between ending the night with Clinton up maybe 292 delegates or 288 delegates. So the bottom line math, it seems dramatic. Does Sanders win the state? Does Clinton win the state? The bottom line math isn't going to really change no matter who wins the state tonight.
All right, Steve Kornacki with the story in Indiana. We've got a tight race, as we said, separated by all of 3 votes, 50-50. Kristen Welker outside Clinton campaign headquarters in Brooklyn. And Kristen, I note your candidate is going to be spending the night about 40 minutes to the north of the city at home in Chappaqua.
Incredibly notable, Brian. That's absolutely right. She is not in Indiana tonight. She's not in any of the primary states. In fact, I just spoke with one of her campaign officials who's here at her headquarters in Brooklyn, who said they are bracing for a potential loss tonight. Indiana is an open primary. That means that independents can vote.